What's up, YouTube? It's Chris here with Casual Yu-Gi-Oh! And today I am coming at you with my Mermail deck profile version 2.0. After much criticism from the last one, uh, I understand what you guys are saying. I'm still going to try to play it my fun way, but regardless, here's my deck profile. A few things have changed, so it's not just a complete repeat. Okay, uh, so obviously you start with your triple Neptibus. He's like the best card of the. I mean, you could say he's the best card of the deck. He starts everything. He was a godsend from Breakers of Shadow. He was amazing. But basically, what he does is he sends an Atlantean from deck to grave to add an Atlantean from deck to hand. Um, Usually you're pitching Dragoons, but you have a few other options. But and also if he sends the graveyard to activate a Water Monster's effect, he can target an Atlantean other than himself in the graveyard and special summon it. So he's really good. Obviously, three of. Um, One heavy infantry, you could bump this to two, but heavy infantry just says if he's sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, basically you can just pop a face-up card on the field. So he also, if he's on the field, you can give a sea serpent an additional normal summon. Basically, you can normal summon one additional sea serpent, but generally you don't do that. Like I said, you could bump this to two if you found the room, if you wanted to be a little more consistent and take away some of the fun shit I have. But uh, keep in mind, you do want enough Atlantean targets, so you don't want to run out of Atlantean targets too soon, because you want to be able to do Neptibus like once or twice, at least twice usually. All right, so it's one of him. One Deep Sea Diva because it's at one. This card, whatever it is, like you would always play this card at max if they brought more off the list. I would like to see Deep Sea Diva too, and just give Mermails a little more play. But by the way, all she does is when she's normal summon, you special summon a level 2 or lower Sea Serpent from your deck. Okay, and here's kind of your Mermail package of little monsters. You got Abyss Osha. She's the one that she can target a Mermail monster on the field, pop it, and then summon Mermails from your deck that equal or less than the level of the monster you popped. Normally what you do is you pitch Abystius, and then Abystius, when it's summoned, Abystius when it's summoned, you search a level 4 lower Mermail, add it to your hand. You can use your normal summon on this, pop the Abystius, and then summon the rest of your Mermails out. That's all she does. Her being a level 3 Aqua is important, so I'll get to that. The newest one, Abyssnieri, she came out in, what, Circuit Break? Yep. So what she does is she's kind of a hand trap. You can discard her from the hand to blow up a monster or target a monster on your field and then blow up another water monster from your hand or field, and whatever the monster you blow up in your hand or field, that attack gets added on to the water monster you chose first. Um, it's nice to be able to do that. It helps you like OTK easier, and then you obviously have the defensive ability of like if your opponent tries to attack into one of your cards, you can do that. But I like her. She's not hard to get at all. There's a way to get her pretty easily, actually, to do the whole combo. I'll show that. One Mermail Abyss Lindy. So Lindy has the effect of if she's destroyed by a card effect or battle, yeah, destroyed period. You can special summon a Mermail from your deck. So a lot of times what you're going to do is use these in tandem with each other. So uh, I'll just get to it right now. So here's another Mermail monster you can do. Pike, and he's a level 4. So what a Pike can do is that when he's summoned, you can ditch a water monster from your hand to the graveyard and then add a level 3 water monster from deck to hand. So generally what I would do is if I did the Abystius play, I would pop my Abystius with Osha, and then I would summon out these two generally, and then his effect, pitch a water to search this, and then now I have the play where I can ditch her, blow this up, boost something by 1500, and then her effect would activate, which would give me the ability to summon a Mermail from my deck. So there goes that. Like I said, one Pike, you can play a second Pike if you really wanted to, because he's not terrible to draw, but generally you only need one. This guy is kind of a new, old addition that I put back in here. I know that phrase didn't make any sense, but basically I used to run him, took him out for a long time, and I'm trying to run him again. The main reason is because obviously his graveyard effect of being able to banish him from the grave, and then he can either increase all Mermail monsters you control by 1 level or 2 levels. Some people use this for True King of all Calamities when they have like the level 7s out, but I am going to use him for a different reason, which is I run Ties the Brethren in here, and he can increase your level 3 Aquas by 1 level to make them level 4, and that's important. We'll get to that. For this card, the Water Barrier statue, for anyone who doesn't know, no monsters can be special summoned except water monsters, which doesn't affect me in the slightest, but for everyone else, probably sucks. But he's level 4 Water Aqua, so your choices for level 4 Water Aquas are kind of slim. Tribe Infecting Virus, if that card ever comes back, I hope it does because I just bought one, but that would make this deck so much better with the way I built it. Until then, it's a little more difficult. For rank 4 plays and Barrier Statue, or for Ties the Brethren plays, you got Aqua Spirit. So I'm just going to get into this now. The thing that sucks, like I said, about the Ties to Brethren thing right now is until Tribe Infecting Virus comes back, there's not a whole lot of level 4 water aquas that are worthwhile. So we got Barrier Statue, we got the Aqua Spirit, and oh, there's one other card I'll get to. Here it is. Triple of the Warrior of Atlantis. This searches a Legendary Ocean, which goes into an engine that we're using later on, but he's also level 4 water aqua. The problem with what you're seeing right here is this card can't be normal summoned. It can't, well, not that it can't be normal summoned. It can't be special summoned except by its own effect. So meaning like you can't use this as one of the Ties Brethren targets from your deck. Meaning if you draw one of these guys with ties, it's not going to work right now. That's why I said I really need Tribe Infecting Virus back. So as of right now, generally your main target that you want to use ties on is Aqua Spirit. You hope to draw this card and then use ties. But anyway. So, like I said, this card, you discard it to search a Legendary Ocean from your deck. We are playing one copy of that. And he's really shiny, he's really awesome. The Legendary Ocean is something we can do in this deck with other cards. I'll get into those in a second. But it's kind of an extra bonus now with the ties that he's level 4 Water Aqua. It works, gives us another target. Triple Atlantean Dragoons because it's at 3. It's so nice having this card at 3, being able to just use it and abuse it over and over and over again. If he's sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you get to add a Sea Serpent from deck to hand. You just can't add himself, and he's not once per turn. He also has the effect of, if he inflicts battle damage, or no, what is it? While he's on the field, I'll face up level 3 lower Sea Serpents, can attack directly. With a Legendary Ocean, he becomes level 3, so that's kind of cool that like you can do that, but that's not the reason I play it, but just kind of extra bonuses. Okay, so for the Legendary Ocean stuff, play triple Legendary Fisherman 2. So obviously with Legendary Ocean, you can just normal summon him without a tribute. Basically, I think if he's destroyed by a card effect or leaves the field because of my opponent, by my opponent's card effect, I can add a level 7 water monster from deck to hand. That's cool with the Mermail stuff because you can add the big boys. But then also, he becomes Legendary Fisherman while on the field. And while Umi is on the field, aka Legendary Ocean, he is unaffected by other monster effects. So he's kind of cool. Like I said, this is the way I want to run the deck. I tried running the more conventional way, and this is just way more fun and more of what I like to do. So you guys don't have to play it this way. I just like it, and it's actually underrated. It's actually, this kind of stuff can be really hard for your opponent to get over and deal with because they don't expect it, especially because this boy right here. Legendary Fisherman 3. So, ironically, he came out before Legendary Fisherman 2. That doesn't make any sense to like anybody. No one knew why that was. They were like, where's Legendary Fisherman 2 at? But anyway, so he's amazing. He's kind of the card that I'm like, I always want to play Legendary Fisherman. He looks so cool. I love his art, and I love his effect, and he's really hard to deal with. And that's why I'm like, anytime I contemplate taking these guys out, I really don't want to. So what he does is, he can't be normal summoned or set. You got to special summon by tributing a Legendary Fisherman, aka this guy. And then it's been a few months since I've used this deck, so give me a second. I got to read everything. When he special summoned, banish all monsters your opponent controls. He can't attack this turn. The turn you do that. He can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also unaffected by spell trap effects. That's pretty good. And then once per turn, return as many of your opponent's banished cards as possible to the graveyard. And if you do the first battle or effect damage your opponent takes, this turn becomes doubled. Generally, what I do with this, if I do actually manage to get him out, I'll banish their stuff, then use his effect, return all the banished stuff back to their graveyard, so I can do double damage. And usually I have Abyss Megalo, which can attack twice, and usually he's like really high attack points. So instead of them taking like 3,200 normally, they take 64. So really good. He's level 7. You can do things with that in this deck. That's nice. Yeah. And then for the Mermail big boys, you got triple Mermail Bistius. I wish I had the ultis, but they are extremely expensive. I just have the reprints, but basically he can pitch a water monster from deck or from hand to grave, and then he summons himself, and then on summon he adds a level 4 lower Mermail. He's a really good combo starter. Originally, when I looked into this deck, some people weren't playing that many copies of this card. I don't know, like maybe it just wasn't as popular at the time. But this card is busted in my opinion. 3-0 for sure. And then literally the cover card of the deck, what should be Abyss Megalo. When I picked up this deck, most people played 2. I didn't get that. You got to go 3 because if you draw this card, that's just a one less Sea Serpent you have to add off of Dragoons and stuff. So he's great. He can trib a Water Monster that's in attack position, so he can attack twice. Obviously, that's good. On summon, he searches a Mermail equip card, and so he become a 3200 that can attack twice. He's busted. And then obviously you pitch 2 Water Monsters from your hand to the grave to summon him, and then obviously that triggers effects. So that's why this deck is really good. 1 Mermail Abyss Lead. This card, generally the only way you're getting this out, his real summoning effect is you pitch 3 Water Monsters from hand to grave to summon him, and then I think he can add a Mermail equip from grave to hand. You generally aren't going to do that. Most of the time what you're going to do is blow up your Abyss Land like I showed you guys earlier, that little combo, and you can summon him out. His cool effect is that you contribute a face-up Mermail monster. I think that it might have to be in attack position, and then he can rip a card out of your opponent's hand. And because of the next card, it's nice to be able to rip people's cards out of their hand. And he is a level 7 as well, yep, but 2700. I like him as a one of. I don't think most people usually run him in any more than that. But like I said, you generally never summon him using his own way. You summon him using Lindy. And then you got Mulan Glacia. Mulan Glacia, because it's a Sea Serpent, they probably should have never made this card a Sea Serpent, but because they did, it's extremely busted. I've seen a few builds where people take out Mulan Glacia. I really don't get it. The ability to rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand extremely easily and consistently is busted. And regardless, you're going first, if you're going second, you can just use them to OTK. If you're going first, obviously they don't really have much of a choice in losing their cards. Okay, and now for the smells, we play a really small spell package. 1 Mizuchi, most people play that one. You can play the trap card one if traps are really in vogue, but and the trap one will deal with counter traps if you already have the equip on the field, because if they try to activate a counter trap, your card automatically negates it. They don't have a choice. There's no decisions being made. It will automatically negate it. So, but this one's generally more versatile because spell cards, if your opponent's playing a normal spell or whatever, this will just take care of it, and it gives it the 800 point bonus. We play 1 Legendary Ocean. You don't want to be playing more than really 1 copy of this because you want to be able to pitch a Warrior of Atlantis, search it, and you don't need to be seeing it that consistently. But basically, with the 3 War of Atlantis and this, I'm playing 4 copies, so I feel like that's enough. By the way, he reduces every water monsters on the field and in the hand level by 1. So, like I said, that can be kind of good sometimes with a few plays, but really it's just for the it's really just for the legendary fisherman play. 1 for 1. This is get out your Neptibus. Like I said, until Neptibus is not the best, like one of the best cards in the deck. I don't know why people will go with the Sekka's Light build, and I tried that for a while, but the problem is 1 for 1 is just too good, and people will sacrifice 1 for 1. I'm like, dude, it gets Neptibus. Like you have to play it. And then lastly, like I've been talking about the whole time, Triple Ties the Brethren. I think this version will work better because it gives you more control. And like I said, if you're going first, you can't attack anyway with Mermail, so whoop-de-doo. You can't special summon afterwards. Mermails, once you do all your plays, you don't need to special summon anymore after that. And yeah, sitting on a barrier statue, which is mostly what people use this card for, is pretty good. So, like I said, if Tribe Infecting Virus ever comes back, this deck will be so much better. Alright, that was it for the main deck. Extra deck, Synchros, 1 Tatsunoko. Tatsunoko, generally the only way literally the only way you get this out is with Deep Sea Diva and Neptibus. And then from there you can sync with this, and then you can do a few things by syncing with this. One of them, I'll just show it right now, is this guy. He's pretty new, White Aura Baphomet, whatever. He basically can summon a token immediately, like on summon, and it's basically like the inverse stats of what he is. And if the token goes away while he's on the field, he'll summon a token back. Like basically just summon another token, and then if he dies while the token's on the field, he can just come back himself. So it's pretty busted. But he needs a synchro tuner to get on the field, and Tatsunoko is the one we play. So and because Tatsunoko can sync from the hand, that's what makes it really easy. So like you play a lot of level 7 water, so if you get into this, not too hard to go into that guy. 1 Brionac. Brio is like this is one of the few decks that he still shines in where he's just as good as he used to be. Because of the fact that when you pitch, it will activate the Water Monsters effect that you pitch, and he's beautiful. Um, so I don't. So like Coral Dragon's a level 6 water. He's newer than Brio, but in this deck Brio is better. Coral Dragon doesn't get you a whole lot in this deck. So I took it out. Gungnir, once again, you can pitch Water Monsters to activate the effect. By the way, anyone who doesn't know, Brio bounces cards back from the hand. Like if you pitch cards from your hand to the graveyard, he can bounce other cards on the field back to the hand. Gungnir can pop. Yeah, I think it's just pop anything. Yep, just pop cards your opponent controls by discarding up to 2. Uh, White Aura Whale, he's extremely good. He has like so many effects. He can attack all monsters I think my opponent controls, something like that, or maybe all the defense position monsters. He has piercing. He can destroy all monsters my opponent controls that are in attack mode when he's summoned. He's ridiculous. All he takes is like water tuner, non-tuner water. So obviously in this deck, that's what we're gonna do. One Trish. You're not gonna go into Trish very often, but there's a jank way to make it. Don't tell me to like do it off the top of my head. I think it's with Tatsunoko, and no, maybe that won't work. I don't know. You can get this card out. It's Deep Sea Diva with some other stuff, but anyway. For the XYZs, totally awesome. The way you make this is if you have Legendary Ocean, and you saw how I did the Abyss Ocean play, getting out a few Mermails. If you had a Legendary Ocean out afterwards or before, whatever, you can get a totally awesome the legit way, because they'll be level 2 water aquas, or just aquas. Super Quantum Mech Beast Gramples, he can pop back row, and we can get out rank 3s pretty easy. Nightmare Shark, yeah, he can just attack directly. And also you can attach level 3 water monsters to him, so we play a couple of those. Abyss Dweller, rank 4s is basically like what this deck can really do once it gets going. So play Abyss Dweller, play Silent Honor, play Ragnazero. These are all just kind of situational because you can do whatever you want with your deck. Hope Woven Dragon Spire Shark, I love his artwork. Yeah, play all those. So Frozen Lady Justice, so she's a rank 6, and obviously I don't play any like level 6 monsters in the main deck, so the only way I'd get this out is with the Legendary Ocean with 2 of the big Mermail boys, which has happened before, and I needed to like do something else with those. Generally, it was I needed to fuel something else in my graveyard. I needed more water monsters in my graveyard, so she gains, what is it? She gains 1,000 for each material attached to her, so she'd be at 25. And then once per turn, you can detach to destroy all defense position monsters your opponent controls, which you never know when that could come in handy. But and then lastly, one Abyss Gaios. So Abyss Gaios, he's a great card. I love his artwork. I love everything about him. He basically just says that while he has material level 5 or higher monsters cannot attack, and then once per turn during opponent's turn, detach a material from this card and negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls that have less attack than him. So he's really good if you're kind of like just stuck and you can't kill your opponent. He's kind of good to just sit on. I only play water monsters in the main and extra deck. I didn't want to play anything else. I wanted this deck to just be pure water, so that's why you don't see like Big Eyes, Draco Sax, whatever, any other rank 7. I don't do that. I just want it to be water, and it is possible. So, hope you guys enjoy this deck profile. Keep in mind, I am a casual player. I mean, I thought that's in the channel's name. I think we know that, but I'm not trying to play super, super competitive. This deck, I think, can compete and can do some cool things, and the Legendary Fisherman stuff makes it unique and cool. But yeah, would I take this deck to a tournament? If I took it to a tournament, I might take some things out, obviously. The Legendary Fisherman stuff is just fun. But anyway, that's it for this deck profile. You guys have a good one.